Toastmaster Janani, the curious love story. The curious love story.
Audience, I request you to close your eyes for a minute. What is 2 into 2? What is 9 into 9?
81.
What is 194 into 194? Okay, please open your eyes. The time that you all took, except for Lokesh, to answer the third question was the same amount of time that one person I know takes to answer the first question. I still remember the day that I met this boy very clearly. It was in the summer of 2016. My father, mother, aunt and I had gone to USA for a summer tour. We had stopped in Washington DC for 3 days and we were staying in the house of Rama. She was a friend of my aunt's, and on the first night of our stay, Rama came to pick us up in her car from Washington DC train station. She drove us to her little house in Virginia at 8 o'clock in the dead of night. As we got out from the car and were pulling our luggage out, it was at that point that from a bush in the corner, something seemed to rustle. We stiffened considerably and backed away. Suddenly, from the bush arose a tall, hulking creature about 8 feet in height and definitely very scary. We backed away more until Rama put her arm around the creature and said, "Don't worry, this is my son Vignesh. He also lives in this house. He will be nice to you." Vignesh came out, stood in the corner, gave us a smile and walked into the house. Same way, us terrified walked into the opposite corner of the house and stayed there till the next morning. In the days that followed, we got to know both Rama and Vignesh extremely well. Rama was a very nice lady, a 60-year-old with arthritis and who had recently had both of her hips replaced in a painful surgery. Vignesh, on the other hand, we tried to get to know him because he was a constant presence around the house. But what we could observe was that his mother did not seem to want us to get to know him. Every time he tried to talk to us, his mother seemed to communicate in very dreadful silences. While she didn't want us to talk to him, the young man on the other hand seemed to have a very warm reaction towards our family. He used to spend most of his hours trying to talk to us. He would come into our rooms and ask us about our day. He would offer to fetch and carry our luggage for us. He put out our mattresses and he seemed to go out of his way to take care of us. While the first impression we had of Vignesh never left our minds, and still occasionally we found ourselves backing away from him, and occasionally we didn't want to talk to him. Eventually, by the second day, we had grown quite fond of him. We didn't know the reasons why we liked him so much. Maybe it was because he seemed to like us and spend time with us. Maybe it was because despite his mother's disapproval, he seemed to continue being a smiling, cheerful person. Or maybe it was just because he was nice. One thing I noticed every day was Vignesh offered to drive us into the city of Washington without fail. Every day when we ate breakfast, he used to come to us and say, "Mom, I want to drop these people." And every day without fail, his mother would say, "No, Vignesh, I'll drop them myself." Despite having arthritis and being tired and old, she never seemed to want him to drive us, and we couldn't help but wonder why. This pattern continued for 2 days. But on the third day, and he began his daily ritual and asked to drive us. And his mother, for some reason, today agreed. So after breakfast, we put on our clothes and set out to Washington DC. I remember this car ride very well because we came to refer to it in my family as the car ride of death. What happened was, from the very first second, when he got into the car and began reversing, he went the opposite way and almost hit a tree. When he continued backing down the driveway and waited for us to get in, I remember his mother standing in this corner, expression red. And the car ride continued in that pattern. Neither of those things were good omens, but for some reason we decided to get in the car anyway. We got into the car and we started. The thing about Vignesh is that although he says he has a license, He's an absolutely terrible driver. He swerves a lot. And he seemed to be taking a reckless delight in driving 160 miles in a 20 mile per hour road. It was a country lane and he continued going as if he was participating in Fast and Furious 8. We began fretting for our lives. My father and mother clutched each other. My aunt and I clutched the sides of the car. And my aunt nudged my mother and said, Lavanya, please stop praying to all the gods you know. This is not the time to sit quietly. And my mother began saying, Govinda. Right after, Vignesh had ran a red light. And to my father's shock, he answered calmly, oh, don't worry, sir. In USA, it's perfectly legal to run red lights. My aunt decided enough was enough and asked him the same question she had asked every single young man she had met on this trip. Vignesh, do you have a girlfriend? Now, at this point, I was sitting in this corner of the car, looking out of the window, quite uninterested and knowing the answer. Imagine to my shock when 2 seconds later, Vignesh says, yes. What? All 3 faces stared at him in absolute shock. You do have a girlfriend? Oh yes, I didn't tell you guys about her. Oh my god, I forgot. Her name is Lydia. She met me when I was a college dropout and she's been with me ever since. She's such a lovely, warm, caring person and I love her so much. But my mom doesn't know about her. You guys promise you won't tell her, right? And without knowing what we would do, we said, we put our hands. We spent the rest of the car ride in absolute silence. And we reached Washington Station about 1 hour later. As Vignesh precariously parked the car, he seemed to spot somebody over there and said, oh hey, she's over there! Come on, I'll take you to meet her. And jumped out of the car and ran. We followed at a more steady pace, looking at each other, still not knowing what to say. But then, in my trademark fashion, I broke the silence with a comment. Can you believe this? He says he has a girlfriend. My brother, who's his age, works here, is very successful, very good looking. He has no girlfriend. And my parents nudged me, but I knew very well they thought the same thing I did. And so we continued. And finally we saw her standing. The thing about her is that she's Lydia and she's very tall, very beautiful, absolutely well dressed. And she was simply the very definition of beautiful. And we saw the boy who was running towards her and my aunt said, Janani, he's the very definition of not beautiful. But then he seemed to reach her and he took her hand. And then we saw her face. Lydia's face was lit up with love, affection and caring. As he spoke, she looked at him and she never stopped looking. She slowed down her pace to match his speech. She seemed to love him not despite what he was, but maybe because of it, alongside it. She seemed to look at him with so much care that when we reached him, our faces were absolutely shamefaced. That night, we left for San Francisco, and when I was on the flight, rubbing my sprained neck, I was able to think about Vignesh. I remembered each and every time he had come to our room to look after us, each and every time he fought against Rama, each and every time his mother refused to let him help us, and how he wanted to. I remembered that he, despite his slurred speech and his slowness, he was more than making up for it with his kindness and his love of life. He had not let life get him down. Another thing I remembered was the difference between Lydia and Rama's reaction. Rama seemed to love Vignesh, but she seemed to go out of her way to quiet him down. While Lydia seemed to love Vignesh, despite what he was, and had no intention of quieting him down. I remembered that I was going to be absolutely nice to everybody because, as Giuseppe Garibaldi says, never judge a man by who hates him. Judge a man by who loves him. After seeing what they had and after seeing this, I knew very well I was never going to judge anyone again. Because, again, I ask you, please close your eyes. When you hear this, I want you all to remember, there is no place in this world for people to be put into boxes. There is no place in this world for people to be misunderstood. Because everyone deserves love, so do you all.